we've had this vision for a long time. Back in the 90s, when I left here, I knew what my calling was. And I was sending letters to Pastor Nettie and his family every single year. And the opportunity to come to this particular area was not opening to me because people passed away and the doors just wasn't opening. Every single night, that probably my family don't even know, I would listen to a certain song that would take me back to the mission field. And that's what I would just meditate on where I was meant to be. And the whole time, in Guatemala, they didn't know because they didn't get my letters. Until I was able to, my friend's family moved to Costa Rica as missionaries, and I was helping them do that. They were doing it part of the Hope Movement. And I said, this is my last letter. I tried for over 10 years now. And they sent that letter, and a few weeks later I get an email from Pastor Nick. And he said, when God sends someone special into your life, they never leave your heart. We remember a little boy that's now a man. And we've been waiting for him. The building closed, the feeding centers shut down, and we had no hope. At the same time, that's when I got my tax exemption. And he said, the building's yours, and we're here to serve. That's how it all happened. Years and years of battles, and we thought it was going to happen like that. We would just go back to people that we knew, friends, family, people that went to Guatemala, and that they would put right on board. Here's the money you need to get started. We thought, I had so many promises that were just broken. And in the meantime, we kept waiting. And that's torture for someone that just has a vision. That's that battle, that battering, that forming, that breakthrough. In the meantime, financial situations happen and everything falls apart, family falls apart, and you wonder, all right, why now have family that's falling apart, don't see family members for years, people rejecting you, people bringing you down, and why have all these things happen? But then I would have this voice in my head that would say, I'm forming you. You've tasted what poverty is, you've tasted what abandonment is, you've tasted what hurt and pain is, but now you are going to put yourself in their shoes. So the years have passed, and we keep battling. And if I could sell anything I could do to feed the children, I would sell it. The house is pretty much empty. If I could, and if someone donated, that 100% goes to where it needs to go. And then I had to make hard decisions. Okay, we can't serve 5 days a week. We have to serve 2 days a week. And now we have to serve 3 days a week. And maybe 2 months have to shut it down. Doesn't mean that we're not ministering to the people. We're just not being able to do what we're trying to do in the center. It's never going to stop our interactions with people, which in reality is you can feed the stomach, but most important is feeding the soul. And that's what keeps you going. So it's been a long road, fascinating. We've had many times where we sat on the roof of the building and just cried. We've had our times where we looked at each other and said, I have a vision. And almost word for word, we look at each other and say, we'll have one day come a place called the City of Hope that will have an orphanage on one side, a home for abandoned elderly on the other side, and the elderly would mentor the young people, and in turn the young people would also inject joy into the lives of the elderly. To have these programs that you see all over the country, and I mean, there's opportunities that you would be amazed. Just us doing something so small that people in other countries, as far as Pakistan and different places, that they understand what the concept of hope movement is, because it's not It goes far beyond programs. It's about changing the mentality of us Christians, the churches, shaking our comfort zone and uniting us together, because there's so much need in the world today that they don't need an arm reaching out to them. They need an army. That's the reality. And so I have people from Pakistan that call me up and write me and say, we want to help. I mean, there's opportunities that go way far beyond Guatemala. I mean, this is just a stepping stone. And that's what we envision. So that is the heart of what mission work is. I call this a vision trip because I've done a lot of mission trips, and they're a blessing, and we have a great time with everyone. But the majority of the time, they leave and they forget. And in the meantime, we're back on our roof crying, and the kids are back in the street dying. And so that's what we need from you, is to see beyond the smiles and the playing games, the kids, and all that stuff is beautiful memories, and always cherish that. But I always think about that money, that if we're able to raise enough money and beg people for money so we can go on a trip, and why can't we do the same thing to feed the masses? People understand when you go back is be the voice of the voiceless. You know, I sometimes, you know, as someone, I look at myself sometimes and I blame myself. You know, why aren't we at the level that I imagine us to be? And I would say to myself, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just a failure. Maybe I'm not, something in my life is not right. You know, you start questioning yourself, and then it hit me one day. Said, you know, you answered your call. You know, you're going to places that no one else is going, or you're putting yourself in danger. I mean, not just in Guatemala, in various locations. You're doing this. You're the one crying yourself to sleep over the people. Nobody else is. Now, you've told people about the vision. You've told people about the calling. And now they have to answer their call. And if they don't answer their call, they can never say from that moment that you spoke to them that they didn't know. From that day forward, the responsibility of what happened to the programs and the people that were involved is now in your hands. If it closes up, it's not because the people that were doing the work didn't do their part. It's because the people that were supposed to lift those leaders up collapsed the foundation. And so that's what I just want you to take back with you as being the voice of the voiceless. Be the voice of the voiceless. And share this with everyone you know. And I mean, it's not only a way to this is beyond a ministry. I mean, we are the hope. I mean, it's a literal movement of people. That's what I imagine. You know, we take a drop and it creates a ripple. And the ripple can create a tsunami. And this is just a ripple. This is just a drop right now. And you can be those ripples that are now expanding out there.
Cuando yo conocí a Jonathan, él era un niño todavía.
When he met me, I was just a child.
Y nadie se iba a imaginar, y si alguien nos lo hubiera dicho, no lo hubiéramos creído.
And everyone wouldn't have thought that something of this really would happen.
Que un día íbamos a trabajar juntos.
That we would work together.
Recuerdo que me llegó a las manos una carta que decía, yo soy Jonathan.
And he remembers that when the letter arrived, he said, I'm Jonathan.
Y estoy soñando con formar un movimiento.
And I'm dreaming about a movement.
He escrito muchas cartas a ti, pero nunca he tenido respuesta.
I've wrote you many times and nothing has arrived.
Yo creo que Jonathan escribió esa última carta comunicándose conmigo.
And I believe that was the last letter that was going to write.
Yo no sé por casualidad o no sé por qué, pero dirección de un correo electrónico estricta y entonces inmediatamente respondí a la carta con un correo.
And he saw that I put an email address in there, and he immediately went to write.
Y desde ese tiempo comenzamos a soñar. Ya no era un soñador, sino éramos dos soñadores.
And from that moment, it was not a one dreamer.
Quiero dar gracias profundamente primero a Dios
This morning, I want to give deep gratitude to God,
y luego las gracias a cada uno de ustedes que se tomaron su tiempo, sus recursos y sus capacidades para venir a Guatemala y ayudarnos a ayudar a muchas personas.
and I want to thank you all for giving up your time and resources to help those in need in our community.
A las iglesias de Pensilvania y de Maryland,
The churches from Pennsylvania and Maryland,
nuestros agradecimientos más profundos a nombre de mi familia, del movimiento de esperanza y de todos esos niños que tratamos de cubrir de alguna manera.
and we give you profound thanks for my family and from the whole movement, and on behalf of all